Yo, what's up guys? This is Faryam again, back with a new Minecraft Dungeons video. The Flames of the Nether DLC is upon us, guys. It will release on the 24th of February, which is only 2 days from now on. And boy, oh boy, we're gonna get our hands on so much new content. First off, the paid DLC, the Flames of the Nether, will bring us 6 new levels, a lot of new weapons, armor, and artifacts, and then also a big free update for every single one of you guys, including the new Ancient Hunts feature, as well as a fixed Apocalypse Plus. I am very excited about all these features, so I am definitely gonna live stream it at the release and of course also make a lot of new content for you guys. Anyways, I am also very excited about the new gear which we will be able to find in the Flames of the Nether DLC. So guys, let's have a closer look at the Minecraft Dungeons Diaries content. Alright, so first off, we are getting our hands on the Piglin Merchant. And this one will allow you to buy gilded items with your gold bars, which you will be able to find on the Ancient Hunts. This is already a very awesome way to get your hands on some super unique items, but of course at the same time the Flames of the Nether DLC will give us a great deal of new items as well. Currently, it is not known how many new items we will be able to get our hands on, but I think it's gonna be something similar like the Howling Peaks DLC. Actually, I think we can even expect more items this time, so guys, let's check them out. So, when we have a look at the new gear fragment from the Minecraft Dungeons Diaries, you can see that the first item that pops up is the Pride of the Piglins. This one has a chance to fire piercing bolts, and I think it already looks very cool with the design. And this guy has a wind-up attack built-in enchantment, so that pretty much means we're gonna have to charge our crossbow attack. So I think this one will definitely be interesting with enchantments like Power and Growing, because then you will be able to snipe enemy mobs from afar with insane amounts of damage. Next up, we have the Cog Crossbow. This is pretty much the rare or common variant of the Pride of the Piglins unique, which we just talked about. It only has this wind-up attack, but at the same time, of course, you can see that it has a lot of damage to it. The 46 unique only has 210 range damage, and when you go to 53, it has 292, which is pretty insane, guys. I think this one will scale up big time, so like I already said, an awesome weapon to use as sniper will deal tons and tons of damage on single targets. Next up, we have the Sprout Armor right here, and this one has the built-in health potions heal nearby allies, already known by us, but then also a traps and poisons nearby mobs when rolling. So this is pretty much a built-in Corrupted Seeds artifact as enchantment. I think it's pretty cool. Also says the dark finds of the Sprout Armor continue to grow even in complete darkness. Then in the middle enchantment slot, we can also see a new enchantment with a burning icon. I think this one also looks pretty interesting. I think it's not gonna be something like the burning which we already have, but if you have an idea, just leave it in the comments down below. We should definitely talk about all these awesome things. Then we have the Golden Piglin Armor. Oh man, this one looks so cool. Seriously, it's probably one of the best looking pieces of armor, which we will be able to get our hands on in Minecraft Dungeons, and also has some pretty interesting enchantments. Can get consumables on potion use, which is pretty much a built-in surprise gift enchantment, which is also pretty cool to see on a piece of armor. Then also a reset artifact cooldown on potion use, which will be pretty powerful. And then also a plus 50% artifact damage. So you can definitely tell that this one, the Golden Piglin Armor, heavily focuses on using your potion and at the same time, of course, dealing more artifact damage. I think it will work very well with Potion Barrier. The Golden Piglin Armor combines a Piglin's two favorite things, not dying and gold. Nice. Then we have the Bone Cudgel, the unique variant of the Bone Club, extra damage to Illagers. I think this one is not very cool because it won't be that much damage, but also a great pushback because of course it's a blunt weapon with a very slow attack speed but a lot of power. So yes, it's gonna swing around like crazy and it will deal crazy amounts of damage as well. Then the Weeping Vine Bow looks pretty cool. Maybe we will be able to find this one in, for example, the Crimson and Warped Forests. This one has a built-in charged arrows after roll, pretty much the roll charge enchantment. Not very powerful, but I think the Weeping Vine Bow does look pretty nicely and fits perfectly in the theme of the Crimson Forest. I think it's not going to be very powerful, but then once again we get our hands on a new enchantment, and I think this one will trigger once you fully charge the weapon. Maybe it's going to add a potion effect or something like that. Time will tell, but it definitely looks quite interesting. Here we have the Piglin armor, the common variant of the armor which we just looked at with the Mohawk. It has a Electrified, a Surprise Gift, also a Frenzied, but then another new enchantment, guys. Looking pretty funky. I seriously have no clue what this one is all about, but it looks like the character will be enraged, or maybe it's gonna have some kind of sparks flying around it, because the art on this one also looks quite mysterious. And then we have the Broken Saw Blade, and boy oh boy, continuous attacks. This one sounds super interesting. So it's pretty much gonna work just like a chainsaw, but of course it won't have a final attack animation. So it will always deal exactly the same amount of damage, 79 in this case. So this pretty much means you won't be able to trigger things like swirling, or maybe it will always trigger. That can be pretty interesting as well. But things like thundering will probably become very powerful with it, because if you attack super fast with these continuous attacks, then of course it will also be able to trigger the thundering very often, just like the critical hit. I think critical hit will pop up quite frequently, and if you want to use radiance on it, it will also be quite powerful. Yes, I am really looking forward to showcasing this one. The Slayer crossbow is one we already saw earlier, so nothing too fancy. But then we get our hands on a new quiver as well, Thundering Quiver. This one gives you thundering arrows, so also has a pretty long cooldown like the flame arrows. This copper quiver channels the power of lightning, which is probably gonna mean when you shoot a mob with this one, it will also shoot thunder to the mobs that are around it. Maybe it's gonna deal less damage, but yes, it sounds pretty interesting for dealing with larger packs of mobs, or at least with mobs that are nearby each other. The Bone Club, the common variant, of course, also has a great pushback, but once again, we see a new enchantment right here, and I think this one also looks pretty cool. And then we have a Spin Blade artifact. This one also looks quite interesting. It's like a shuriken. The Spin Blade shoots towards enemies and then ricochets back to you, damaging foes as it flies. So it's a boomerang shuriken, pretty much, dealing 175 artifact damage. 8 seconds cooldown, so I think if you're playing with a cooldown reduction build, this one is gonna be so much fun to play with. I think you will be able to make a sort of ninja build. This whirling weapon spins across the battlefield, slicing through enemies in its path. Then also the Blast Fungus. We already saw this one in action, looks pretty cool. It's like the scatter mines, but you just throw them around you. Each fungus rolls in a different direction, then explodes and deals damage. So in comparison with the scatter mines, this one doesn't have to be placed on the ground. You could just do some rolls, you can just throw this in a battlefield and it will deal a great deal of damage. And also only has a 5 seconds cooldown, so you will be able to pretty much spam this one if you once again have quite some cooldown reduction. Only the bravest of warriors carry the Blast Fungus, not just because of its toxic spores, but because it smells awful. So maybe this one will also deal some damage to you if you actually stand a little bit too close to a fungus exploding. Not really sure, but it sounds really cool. Then we also have the Power Shaker. When the Power Shaker is activated, your next few melee attacks cause mobs to explode. So yeah, another really cool, interesting artifact with a pretty low cooldown reduction once again. The Power Shaker is a smashing good time, though it may not be as fun for your enemies. So guys, if we have a look at the Golden Piglin armor once again, you can definitely tell that these artifacts will be great fun with it, because this one will have this plus 50% artifact damage, and if you put some artifact cooldown on this one, I think it will be so much fun. Next up, the Mechanized Saw Blade, guys. Long continuous attacks. In comparison with the regular Saw Blade, this is a longer continuous attack, because of course the other one was just a continuous attack, but that means of course at a certain point it will stop attacking, and I think you're gonna have to wait for it in order to be recharged once again. So that definitely makes sense, but once again guys, we see a new enchantment popping up right there. Looks really cool. Maybe this is gonna add some dark bonus damage. I don't know, deal damage to elementals, for example, because we actually have some blazes in the game as well, so that would be quite interesting. Then we have the Living Vines armor. This one also has a built-in reduced roll cooldown in comparison with the rare or common variant. I think we will be able to see some very cool roll builds with this one pretty soon when the game releases, but only time will tell, guys. And of course, I will make many build videos for you, because with this update, we will get our hands on so many new, interesting combos, which will be viable for higher level Apocalypse play. And then, last but not least, also the Twisting Vine bow. This one doesn't have any built-in enchantment, so a little bit disappointing. This bow writhes within your grasp as if it's trying to wrap its tendrils around everything in its path. So maybe it will have a special effect. Well, that's what we can hear from the description, but yes, we will find out in just 2 days. So if we have a look at these little fragments, you can see how these wind-up attacks on the crossbow pretty much work. So I think you're gonna have to wind it up before you get it to battle, and then you will have a certain amount of shots which you can do before, of course, the wind-up effect is gone. And then we also see the saw blade in action. This one does have a very quick but short animation at the same time. So what you're gonna do is just stand pretty close to your enemies, and then you're gonna pretty much just like that. So you will just pretty much poke them when you're very close, and then you're gonna have to wait before you will be able to do that attack animation again. And then also the two-hander. This one looks super cool, of course, in combination with the piglin armor right there. Looks like a very big blunt weapon, but I think it will be a lot of fun to play with as well. At the very end of this Minecraft Dungeons diary fragment, you can also see that the player is using these fungi as bombs, and then at the very end, guys, he's also throwing the glaive, so you can definitely tell that these are the new artifacts. So yes, I am very excited about all these new enchantments, all these new weapons and armor, and of course also the artifacts, but it's gonna be just 2 more days waiting, and then we can finally get our hands on them. Guys, a big thanks for watching. Definitely make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed watching this video. I'm gonna cover every single artifact, every single weapon and piece of armor in the game in the coming days when the game gets released. I mean, the update gets released. But yes, for now it is 4 AM out. Time to work on my next video. I'm also gonna prepare my live stream a little bit for Wednesday. So if you have time, definitely make sure to check it out, because I'm gonna do a stream for quite some time at the release. So I hope to see you guys right there. Right now it is 4 AM out. See you in the live stream, or of course on Discord. The link is in the description. So guys, take care. Till next time.